Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions JP, let's look at my all missions clear of the 3-star version of Tetra Sylphid. And originally this was a 45-minute clear, but I'm going to see about how I can make it shorter. Probably what I'll do is I'll just talk until I've pretty much covered everything I need to about the battle, and then I'll either cut the end or I will speed up the end. We'll see what we do. But this is the team that I am using. Lots of light characters because I want to make the element chain. That's one of the missions for this quest. And then I also have Ayaka in there. She has Holy, so she can also go with that chain. But also she has the bar arrow, which she gets from her green mage subjob, which will give me resistance to all of the attacks of the quest. For Inori, I gave her the white mage subjob. For Sakura, I gave the power word subjob because I want that 100% hit attack. There's a lot of evade on the enemies here. For Elshirelle, she'll be coming out pretty soon in Global, so I thought this would be a good time to show her off. Actually, I was waiting to play this until I leveled her up, because she can use the Exorcist card, but also she's light element to chain with other people, and I kind of felt like I needed her for this mission. And then last is Mariale. She will be my magic tank, get some hate on her. Everything's pretty self-explanatory as far as equipment. Mashiri Vision card with the JP Element Party buff will give everybody a shorter casting time, so we should see spells coming out more quickly than usual. Okay, but let's head in. Missions here are nobody KO'd, don't use a friend, no continues, and then the 4-hit elemental chain. Okay, but we start out on the map. It's just us and then Tetra Sylphid. But the way that this quest works, as you do damage to her, as you push her past different HP points, then more other enemies will come out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down her HP just a little bit, get some guys out, take down the guys, and then go back to hitting her. But the thing about Tetra Sylphid is that she's pretty strong against physical attacks, weaker to magic attacks, and then she also has very high evade. That's part of the reason why I want Holy for the 100% hit, and then also on the Exorcist card on Elshirelle, that will break evade and then also hit 3 times. So that will be great against Tetra Sylphid, and then also help me with the clearing the mission. I also have the Fenrir Vision card to give everybody magic resistance, and then a little bit of equipment on a few guys to get some more magic resistance there. But Ayaka, again, she can use Bar Aurora. She can cast Haste using that green mage spell. Vitalize, I think it is. She can cast Shell. All attacks in here are going to be magic scaled, so we want Shell. And then Mariale, she'll be here mostly to just kind of generate hate. She has the Attract Blade, and then also some self-buffs for like magic barriers, or like magic resistance up. Okay, there's Aroga onto Mariale. Low 3-digit damage, so that's pretty good. So there we can see the 52% hit rate, hit possibility from Sakura's Limit Break, so don't want to use that yet. But if we get closer, we can use this 100% hit attack from Power Word. And a lot of Sakura's skills will have casting times, so the Mashiri card will really help with that. But yeah, we're seeing decent damage coming from those magic spells, 1,000 or 2,000. With Mariale, I could use a track spell, even if it would miss, it would still raise her hate. But I'm going to wait a little bit. We'll use magic resist, get some magic resistance up on a couple guys. Okay, there's that 100% hit attack. That wasn't quite enough to do to cross the threshold, so we haven't summoned the little guys yet. Then with Ayaka, we can use the Bar Aurora, give everybody wind resistance. Okay, and then Elshirelle, we can use her 3-hit attack from the Exorcist Vision card. That will break Evade, and do 3 hits and get some damage in there. So yeah, we had the 100% hit rate there, so that was good. This will be most helpful for Sakura, because she does have the 100% hit attack, but the rest of her attacks do not have that. Okay, there we got the element chain, but I hit Tetra Sylphid for a little bit too much damage, so I've summoned 2 batches of guys. And with Sakura here, I want to use her Revolution something something. That's one of her only AoE attacks, and I can use it to attack 2 of these guys at once. I was also considering her Limit Break, but that's quite expensive, and I don't quite need it, so... Yeah, that's not a ton of damage for the amount of AP that costs. Yeah, this is much better damage here. But I'm going to check the turn order, and it looks like these guys here on the left are going to move first. So I'm going to change my targeting. I'm going to go for the guys on the right instead. Yeah, I do have to be careful about that, again, with the spells with a casting time. Okay, and then Leonis, she's mostly just here for support and then healing. But she does have Holy if I have nothing else to do with her. But she has very high natural magic resistance, so if she's hit by anybody, she's not going to take a lot of damage, so she'll be kind of a sub-tank after Mariale. And then Ayaka, she's going to have the lowest defenses probably of anybody on my team, so I have to keep her healed up. And again, one of the missions is to keep everybody alive by the end of the fight, so yeah, need to keep an eye on Ayaka. Okay, there, Tetra Sylphid, she'll put up a 3-hit barrier. So I'm going to have to hit her a few times before I can get in the real damage. Okay, Aurora on Mariale, only 1 damage there because her magic resistance is so high. Okay, I'm checking Elshirelle's AP drain. It only takes away about 30 though, so I figured it wasn't worth it. But I want to take away the little guys anyway, so we'll go after them. We'll just use a normal attack. Okay, Kuraga here. And yeah, I'm trying to ignore the boss as much as possible, because I don't want to summon even more guys and get overwhelmed, so focusing on the little guys for now. Okay, Shell on Ayaka, again, because she's kind of a squishy target. Okay, here I'm again looking at the Revolution something something, and I'm trying to see if I can hit the 2 enemies there at once. Okay, that's one of the most powerful attacks from Tetra Sylphid. Did quite a bit of damage to Ayaka, so I gotta be careful. Okay, there's that. Good damage. Mariale tanking like a champ. Okay, I have another attract spell here. We can use that, take down these two guys. Or one of them. Okay, we can finish off that element there. And then the sword that Elshirelle is using, that is Auron's sword, which is craftable during the Final Fantasy X collaboration. I went for the aim version because I don't have another greatsword that has aim on it. And of course that's very important in this battle, since the Tetra Sylphid has so much evade. And then the staff that Sakura is using, that is also an aim type. That is the Cypress Pile, which is craftable now with the release of Hyper Helena. Okay, Magic Barrier again on Mariale. That will be a 3-hit damage barrier. One thing I did not bring into here was the barrier breaker. That might have been useful against Tetra Sylphid, but I didn't have anybody, I think, that had that. That would have fit like the elements and stuff of my team, so I'm just going to break the barriers the old-fashioned way. And then in a lot of the previous 3-star Esper fights, I brought double gunners because they have the 4-hit attack. They can just clear the elemental mission just outright. But I did not have the confidence to hit all 4 times against this boss with a very high evade value, so I had to think of another way. But I thought about like bringing a fire team, putting the Exorcist card on Rain, or bringing a dark team, putting the Exorcist card on like Stern or somebody. And I did try a couple other teams, but none of them worked. But I felt like the light element team would work best, and that's what ended up working here. The way that I'm using Elshirelle in this quest is pretty basic, just a damage dealer with a little bit of breaking from the Exorcist Vision card. But if you get into her sub-jobs with like Double Gunner or the Spellblade, then you can get some kind of funky use cases out of her. You could use her as a tank. She has a pretty good Pierce and then projectile resistances. You could build her for higher resistances there, or just give her defense. And then for Double Gunner, she's got some like defense penetration and some AoE attacks and things, so she's not super flashy, I would say, as far as using her. She's solid source of damage, a little bit of status effects, a little bit of tankiness. Maybe her being a light element slash attacker is kind of the best thing about her. I was very excited for her because I skipped so many of the limited light element slash attackers that I was happy to get her. Okay, I decided to do the Bio Blade on one of the elements because the elements kind of have a lot of HP. But if I can take away their HP a little bit, little over time, that would be fine. Okay, I think that will do it for the blow-by-blow commentary. Now I can just take some time to talk about my thoughts about PvE in general in War of the Visions. But this battle was a lot of fun for me. The entire 45 minutes I was very engaged. And that was because it was a little bit more intricate than your average, versus boss fight in War of the Visions. I say this all the time, but the game is still young, and so PvE in particular is still a little bit underdeveloped. It's nice that we have the tower and then the 3-star esper fights, but still, like, the challenge comes from kind of simple, broad stuff, like very high damage or very high HP on the boss, or just overwhelming numbers, like lots of little guys, or like status effects. That's all pretty basic stuff that you could base a challenge on. But as we see here with a Tetra Sylphid, you have to get through evade, and so that requires certain builds or certain teams, especially if you want to go for the all missions clear in one go. And so I had to work and think a lot about what team I wanted to put together, something that would have good synergy with itself to address this particular kind of challenge. And that was great. That kind of reminded me of the old days of Brave Exvius, stuff like that. And then also managing the boss's HP so that you don't summon too many little guys at once. That's another aspect of the challenge that was fun here. And then also a very niche use of a character, like Ayaka with her bar arrow. That came in very handy in here. And that also gave me a better appreciation for the character. That's something that Yuna can't do. And I've said this before, but as the game progresses, as we enter the second year, as the players' accounts get stronger and kind of more filled out, then I think we're going to see more interesting, more varied types of PvE content, with more technical, more intricate types of challenges. But other things you could do is you could make it so that breaks become very important, or resistances or mitigation on your team become more important. In this fight, the bar arrow, it helped me, but it wasn't necessary. It would be interesting to go into a fight where it was necessary, and so you needed to bring some character with that resistance up ability. And then also the map has been kind of underutilized as well. We've seen a little bit of that in the story with switches, that can make bridges go up and down, or drain water, or push trees over. But make that more integral to the fight. If you don't push the switch, then you can't do damage to certain guys, or you can't get to a certain place, or you can't access something. So having to deal with the boss at the same time as you are managing the map might be interesting as well. And perhaps other map-specific challenges, maybe a capture the flag kind of a thing. You don't even need to take down the boss. You just need to get past the boss, go to a treasure chest or something, get the flag, come back to your starting position, and then that would be the clear. That would be fun too, I think. I would also kind of highlight certain abilities, like Samurai's Hayate, or Ninja's Poison Cloud. And that would also highlight different characters as well, and also different Trust Masters and things. So, while this Tetra Sylphid fight was more interesting than some of the previous PvE fights, as we can see, there's a lot more that the game could do for these PvE fights, and I'm looking forward to them adding them to the game. I hope they're getting on that. Okay, I think that'll do it for the commentary. Basically, I'm just going to take down the little guys, do a little bit of damage to the boss, take down the little guys a little bit more, and then go after the boss again. It might become a little bit difficult towards the end, because I'm not going to have the evade break anymore. That Exorcist's vision ability I can only use twice, per battle, so I have to pick those times carefully. Alright, but again, this was a fun fight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.